Hey everyone, welcome to the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I am your host. I am the Clydesdale. We like to do fitness, and these are my friends. Got Amy Radowski, Charlie Odie with me today. And these two did a comp. We talked about prepping for that comp last week. So how did it go?
I think it went well. I had a great time. I did have a great time. I was anxious. I mean, I always am anxious to compete, but it was like the hottest day ever that I drank 2 gallons of water the day before. Serious.
Yes. And the amount of times she went missing was, bar none, the most I've ever seen in a person over the age of 6.
Well, there is that, because I was well hydrated, so I needed to go to the bathroom many times. And then many other competitors will attest to this, that there's also nervous pees. So, and already having a full bladder constantly from the 2 gallons of water, then you have the nervous pees and you need to keep going pee. So that's what was happening. And I would count them. I'd be like, Charlie, I'm going potty again.
Yep.
Charlie's team was the most well-dressed team of that entire competition.
You look good, you play good.
Yeah. I mean, so this whole competition was a master's comp. It was a local comp, and Charlie and 3 other people from our gym were on this comp together, and they had bright neon yellow shirts, and their team name was called Sweaty Medballs.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ladies had green camo leggings. And then they had the men wore shorts that were also Lululemon green camo. And it looked well put together.
So you said look good, play good. Did it play out that way?
Well, it started off that way. And then,
what had happened was there's this thing that, when you
exercise, you should be able to breathe. And then when you can't breathe, kind of throws everything off. But I did what I wanted to do, was win the first workout, because you got to go out hot and you stay hot. And then you black out crash. And then you wake up and it's event 2.
Was it a waterfall style?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There weren't enough Swedish fish in the building. I was just pounding all the way through a full bag of Swedish fish.
Yeah. So let me just preface this. So this competition had, in the morning, they had all female teams. So there was a 3-person female team, and then a 3-person male team. And then in the afternoon, it was a 4-person team, 2 males, 2 females. And so we had some other people from our gym participate in the morning. And so their workouts were different. So Charlie and I were both there early and got to watch and cheer on our other friends and competitors. So that was really cool, and just kind of watching some of their events. And it was kind of gray and, cloud covered by then. And then right at about 12:50, when we were getting ready to start, it was here comes the sun, hot, 90 degrees. And it was an indoor-outdoor comp. So our first event was 2K row, switching every 5K. And I pulled a little bit of a Charlie, because I was feeling some pressure because of my teammates. And I might have PR'd my 500 meters because I was trying to go so fast just to keep up. But Charlie and his teammate beat us off of the row, but I think overall we finished up ahead.
That's right, we did. And that's how you go hard.
So the first scored event was just the 2K row.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you went into
males have 4 minutes. Male partners have 4 minutes to accumulate as many points as possible in several gymnastics movements. So it was, if you did a weighted pull-up of 35 pounds, then you got 8 points. Every bar muscle-up was strict. Every bar muscle-up was 7 points. Chest to bar was 4 points. and pull up, I don't know, 2 points. And then you could do like chest to like rows, like with a barbell row. I think that was 1 point. So you got, 4 minutes to accumulate, and then 2-minute transition. And then females went and did the same thing. So, Charlie, how was your muscle ups? I didn't get to watch you during that time, but how did that go for you?
I got 21 of them.
Muscle ups?
Yes.
Did you do anything else or only muscle ups?
That's all I did.
And what was cool is his partner got his very first muscle up just warming up before the event.
And then in the event, the anxiety kicked in. And it's like, well.
And he didn't get anything?
Nope.
Oh, you're kidding.
He missed the first one, and then it was like.
Oh, it was over.
He got a little intimidated because the guy across from him was one of the biggest humans I've ever seen in my life. At over 40.
They did 59 bar muscle ups.
I'm not saying Ricky Garrard might have been there, but Ricky Garrard.
Yeah.
I did see some video. I did see some video of Charlie's muscle ups, and they were looking strong.
Okay.
Now, I'm guessing that was early in the 21, maybe like reps 1 through 4.
It was.
All right. Because you were like popping them, like just right up.
Oh yeah.
Hardly any press out.
Threes. Never.
So
press
really,
out.
a good strategy for that one, like for the females, my partner and I we tried to knock out a few weighted pull-ups because we knew that the number of females that would be able to do that was probably more limited than the male pool. So we tried to knock off a few of those and get 8 points on there. And then we both did several kind of reps of bar muscle ups. But really the way to go then to rack up reps was to go chest to bar. Because you can get 2 chest to bar in the time you might get 1 strict weighted pull up. And if for some reason you kind of lost your kipper or whatever and you couldn't get your chest to the bar, at least your chin is still over the bar and you can still get a point for a chin over the bar pull up. So if you were looking for strategy for future, that's a good strategy.
And then what did it move into from there?
The worst event of the entire, which this event I was the most excited about on paper. And it was, so 2 partners, male and female partner, do a form of DT. And so it was lighter weight. It was 85 and 115, Charlie?
Yes.
Okay. And it was 12 hang power cleans into 9 front squats into 6 shoulder to overhead. Okay, 5 rounds. So I do a round, my partner does a round, and you need to get all 10 rounds within 10 minutes. So that started off real hot. I mean, I love hang power cleans, could do that, but then the grip fatigue after the row and the pull-ups just crushed my soul. And I did my first 2 whole sets unbroken, and then by the 3rd, I was like, I have to break because I have no grip. And so then there was a 2-minute transition, and then our teammates would take on actual DT. Same thing. I go around, you go around, and then they had 12 minutes to complete that.
Yeah.
How'd that go for you, Charlie?
That was special. She is correct on the grip. Those hang power cleans got a little slippy there at the end. Almost killed my judge, I think, once with the bar. But yeah, so yeah, DT after all, that's an interesting decision.
Yeah. I mean, it was a grip kill. I mean, if that's what you were programming for, that was good. Then we moved it back outside and we got to do now it was females go and then males go. Was it 10-minute AMRAP? I think it was a 10-minute AMRAP.
Yes.
And it starts with 30 double unders, and then females had a 70-pound sandbag backwards flip, and you had to try to flip it, all the way towards the end. So however many times it took you to keep flipping it. And then you had to bear hug lunge that sandbag back. So females had 70 pounds to do that. Males had 110. That one was just pretty challenging on the quads, and we don't do a lot of sandbag practice in general. So it was just kind of awkward. I was like,
and that turf was quite wonderful at 95 degrees.
Yeah. But it was quick. I was like, once we got to that point, I was like, oh, we actually only have 24 minutes of work left.
Yeah.
Of actual work. So that made the things better because it was that 10-minute AMRAP and then we had a 14-minute time cap for our next workout.
Amy said that, and at that point in the competition, it was like Charlie Brown's teacher talking because it was like, wah, 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 wah. I was like, oh, okay, great.
But I was trying to motivate you to say, once we get there, then we can have a drink because the people that had come in the morning to compete are now like celebrating with beer and watching us. And we're like, I just want to be you.
Yeah.
But then the last event, which I was mostly dreading, actually turned out to be my favorite event of the whole thing. So at the start of 0, and then every 3 minutes, the whole team has to stop and accumulate 20 calories on the bike. And then it is a chipper for the rest of the way. So, start of 3, 2, 1, go. We have an athlete get on and perform, the 20 calories. And then as soon as they're done, it is 80 partner wall balls at a 10-foot target. Then my partner and I got through 66 of those in that 3-minute cap, and then stop. And then they had to, do the bike again. We finished, and then it moved into box step-ups, weighted box step-ups, one in the front rack, one in the farmer's hold. 60 of those, then 40 burpee box jumps, 20 wall walks, and 10 strict handstand push-ups.
So, okay, sounds fun.
Yeah.
My team took second, and I'll tell you what, the only reason why we didn't take first, because this was interesting, I found. So when we signed our waivers, we had to put our age in the top right-hand corner, and they took the age of your entire team, and then they assigned points on that category. So that was like an event. And so the team with the, highest age overall would get 100 points. And then the team with the lowest got 30 points. And Charlie's team got 100 points. They won that event. And we had the lowest. And so that's actually what we lost by, was that amount of points between first and second. So
yeah, it's funny you say, like, when you were in that event, you saw people celebrating, cheering you on. I did that event 2 years ago, and my partner started celebrating during the last event. So when because there was a sandbag event to finish when I did it, and it was male partners run a lap of whatever, I don't even remember what the distance was, with a sandbag, come back and you switch. And at that point you get on a bike erg and a row, and you accumulate as many meters as you can through both ergs. Well, on the runs of the sandbag, he grabbed a beer and drank while we were in the middle of the event.
Is this sprinkles?
No, it was not.
Would this be Mikey?
It would be.
Oh, Mikey or Ken. I mean,
yeah.
Who is now retired so that he can start drinking from the beginning.
Yeah. So yeah, that made it fun for us. That was the last competition I've done. So I need to get into another one someday.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do like a Clydesdale team.
That'd be fun.
We'll meet in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Yeah.
So I actually went and had my MRI read this last week on my back, and my lower back is getting very much better. They're going to do one more injection in there just to kind of do one more final cleanup. And then we're going to work on my middle back, where I have 2 discs that are protruding. And it's preventing me from sleeping. When I lay on my side or back, it sags. And when it sags, it drops and hits the nerve. So during the day, it does not affect me. Sitting here, I don't even notice it. But with the minute I lay down is when it fires up. So going to get that taken care of. And then hopefully I'll be all healthy and ready to really get after it. So hoping for that. And then
comp next year. Comp next year is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
All right.
We also did you guys do any double unders or jump rope?
Yes.
Well, our team did. My my teammate did not allow me to, but yes.
We did, and it was interesting because it was on a mat, which kind of
Like
killed
a
your
soft
jump.
mat. Yeah.
So you had to really jump off the ground to get it, which made it very interesting.
Yeah, athletes were actually making a comment about doing that on the turf at the games.
Oh, I believe it.
That the softness of the turf and the roughness of the grass would grab the rope if you didn't have a heavier rope. And so, what's really cool is if you go to rxsmartgear.com,
Yeah.
you can get different weights on your rope so that the turf doesn't affect it.
Sounds like.
And you can use the code Clydesdale15 and get 15% off that rope. So make sure you do that, rxsmartgear.com. Use the code Clydesdale15, get 15% off. It only excludes new editions and special releases, and they are getting very innovative. We talked last week about their new plyo box. You got to check that out. Inflatable plyo box that deflates and fits in a locker. At soft sides, don't have to worry about ripping the skin off your shin. I know that that is a very big incentive for me because I have ripped my shins open so many times I cannot count. But anyway, go check them out, rxsmartgear.com. We are missing one of the friends today. Kat is in Fort Wayne, Indiana, setting up for the Masters Fitness Collective, which is going on this weekend. Super excited about that. I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning to head up there myself. We are going to have live coverage from the Masters Fitness Collective. I'm getting my wife involved. She's coming up to be my co-producer, co-host, whatever, to kind of hang out with us and do some stuff. We're going to interview different athletes live from the Masters Fitness Collective. And one thing, I don't even know if you guys know, they added another division to the Masters for this event. So there is actually a 30 to 34-year-old division.
Stop it.
Interesting. Are those Masters, though?
I don't even think 35 is, to be honest with you.
I'm going to agree.
Yeah. I think that, I think with all the teenagers coming up so fast, I have heard other pundits in this space say that could push some of the older athletes out faster.
Okay. Sure.
To me, a Masters is when you wake up and you're like, I don't even know what that is, but it hurts.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're a Masters. I don't think I'd do that at 32.
Well, I think right now, so many of the open athletes are in their 30s.
Yeah.
I think for this event, there is no open field, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just adding a division to get more people there. Give people a different division to try out. Yeah, that's it. I don't think this is like game changing and will be a games division anytime soon. This is a Masters only comp, and they just added that level to bring more people in.
Yeah.
But I find it's going to be interesting. I'll next week we'll talk about what it looked like and how
I'm curious if you'll recognize anybody like newer people that we saw at the games. Just like even people that were staying at our hotel that might be at this event. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't even know who the participants are. I haven't got the lineup yet. I know one person from CrossFit Polaris qualified. So they're actually going up, and I know him personally. So that'll be fun. But that is literally the only person I definitely know of. Mm-hmm. And I know Jen Ryan told us at the games, she was on CrossFit Invictus's team, that because she won it last year for her division. And so she got an automatic bid to do it this year, and she was going to come do it. But other than that, those are the only two athletes I know. Mm-hmm. But also this weekend is the Teen Pit Fitness Ranch competition for the teens only. And I don't know if that is going to be televised anywhere anyway. I think the Masters is. From what I've heard, they are going to stream it live, but I'm not sure about the Team Fitness Ranch. But both of these events started last year when those events got canceled at the games and have come on pretty strong. And so I think, and my prediction is eventually a third party is going to take over these divisions at the games to kind of run it. And I think these are just tests to see if these are the people that should and could. Any other things big happening this week?
Nope, not for me.
Well, tomorrow's a big day here, Charlie.
Why?
Buckeye
First
football
football game.
starts tomorrow.
Well, speaking of,
Oh.
our first question
Yep.
in our questions is,
And my answer.
our first question is, what is your favorite thing about fall?
Go, Charlie.
It's that foosball.
That football.
I hear playing out there, they play that foosball. Yes.
I literally love so many things about fall.
Me too.
Do you go? Then you guys go. I only like
No, you
football.
go. I'm sorry. I was
That's
just
it.
saying you. Oh yeah,
That
football.
was it.
Okay. I'm gonna say my favorite would be the weather and hiking, because that is literally like my favorite thing to do. I love to hike, but I mean, favorite time to do it is in the fall. Because
Yeah,
it's pretty to look at.
Yeah, I kind of on your, because hiking's really not my thing, but I love the weather. And the reason I love the weather is it's cool enough to build a fire at night,
Yes.
sit around a campfire, maybe have an adult beverage or two, watch the stars, and there's a smell. The smell of like the burnt leaves.
Mhm.
Like it just has like that, I don't know. I think maybe it's just memories that it brings back, but I love that smell of fall. The obvious answer people would probably think I'd say is football, which I do love, and I can't wait for it to start. But I'm more at the pro level, not that OH stuff. My beloved Chicago Bears.
That happens when your team's terrible.
Excuse me?
You don't like to watch your team get beat every week. But it's fine.
My team doesn't get beat every week. Anyway, with that, well, I'm sure we'll get into those discussions as the season goes on.
Okay.
So that's it. I think I like all of those things. I love when the leaves change too. It just, especially where I grew up in the mountains, it is just gorgeous.
Totally.
So, second question, what is your favorite place that you have ever dropped in? CrossFit gym wise, not house, not Bill's house out in Colorado, but actually like dropped in.
I'm gonna say CrossFit Trace Avery, which was in Rome, just because the whole experience. Well, I mean, like going to being international and knowing that, like, listen, I may not understand a lot of things about your culture, but this is something we can, understand each other on. And so that I just think that overall experience was really cool, and I got to go there a couple of times, so that I liked it.
Charlie?
I haven't been many places, but I'm going to say we dropped into a CrossFit in Punta Cana, which was basically a carport. But the reason it was my favorite is because it didn't have the allergens that Ohio has, so I could breathe. And I murdered the workout, even though I wasn't fit. But yes, it was literally a carport that we were.
It really was.
They're like, well, this is closing tomorrow, but you guys can work out. And
did it really close the next day?
They relocated, but not
they relocated. Side note, another gym from Columbus was actually there with us working out.
It was so weird.
And they were a mess. I think most of them were drunk at that time, but that's fine.
I mean, some of us probably look like a mess.
So I know this is going to surprise you, but I actually have two. The first one is CrossFit Omaha was awesome because I got to meet Stacy Tovar. I got great instruction when I was there. They helped me with my snatch immensely.
Did she touch your lower lumbar curve?
She did not.
Just
I didn't get to meet her till I was done working out. She came in after the fact, but I've told that story before, but that's one of them. The second one is 8th day CrossFit gym in Grand Rapids, Michigan. At the time, Alyssa Ritchie was kind of the known athlete out of that gym. She was not there when I was there, but I was there for work and my meeting ran late. And so thank God I was in better shape back then. I ran from my hotel to this gym. It was an old like filling station with a like where the mechanics in the garage, and it had a ramp that went from the lower floor up where you drove a car up and around to the top floor.
Yeah.
The bottom floor was all like introductory CrossFit. It was a version of CrossFit with no barbells, no dumbbells. It was all body weight. The upstairs was full on CrossFit. So I'd run it had to be over a mile to get there. And I was like cooking to get there in time. And I get there and like, well, we're going to do a warm up, run around the building. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I did it. And then we came back in and I did DT. And it was the only time I've ever done DT RX and beat the 15-minute time cap.
Woo! Nice.
And I did it by 3 seconds.
Nice. I'm going to need that guy for our comp in the year.
But what was crazy is it was on that upstairs part of the garage. And every time barbells dropped, the floor shook.
Oh my gosh.
And that's all that happens during DT is people are dropping bars everywhere. So the whole time it's like I'm doing DT in an earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh, but my grip on that last set was so bad. I thank God I was way ahead of pace because I had to keep dropping because I could not hold on to the bar.
Yeah.
But that was so much fun. And they were just a good gym. And they are perennial, semifinal level team athletes there. But they just really good coaching, really fun place to be, really cool setup. If you ever get a chance in your Grand Rapids, you got to drop in there. So one bonus question, and it's just a quickie. I have heard that September 1st is today and that pumpkin spice lattes are back at Starbucks.
They are.
So my question to you is pumpkin spice, yay, or pumpkin spice? Bleh?
Well, down for me. No, thank you.
I'm all in 100%.
I used to be an all in and now I can't stand it. I think over time, people are rushing it and it tastes fakier these days than it used to.
Fakier?
All year. I'd be okay with it. I like pumpkin flavor in general, though. Just pumpkin. I'll make stuff with pumpkin.
Like pumpkin pies?
Yeah, but even I'll make pancakes and put pumpkin.
Pumpkin pancakes?
Yeah, I like pumpkin flavor generally. I think everybody just throws nutmeg in and calls it pumpkin.
Yeah, that's not. Pumpkin pie spice.
Which when you go to Circleville and you get the pumpkin donut and the pumpkin, I think that stuff's good because it's actual pumpkin and they're celebrating the pumpkin for the pumpkin fest. But this fake stuff now.
Well, I can just appreciate pumpkin all year. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, at this point of the show, we tell you who we're going to have on next week. And so what I've decided to do is we're going to be at the Masters Fitness Collective this weekend. So in that theme, we are going to bring you a Masters champion from the CrossFit Games on Monday. And her name is Kelly Friegel. She is the 40 to 44-year-old Masters champ. She is a 2-time silver medalist, moving into her first time as a champ. And we discussed on the podcast how that is the same trajectory as Matt Fraser and Tia Toomey. And so we expect her now to win 4 more in a row. And I don't think she was on board as much as we were.
Sorry.
You just sneezed yourself right off of mute.
I thought I was still on mute. Sorry.
And so she basically said she has to get through. She'll be 40. She turned 44 right after we interviewed her. And so she'll be the oldest in this division next year. And then if she can get through that, then she becomes the youngest again. And she thinks she'll do okay. So, but you got to check that out. She is really funny. She is from the UK. Her accent is awesome. And there's a great story about her appearing on television and how in the UK, they call that the telly.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Kelly. And I'm just going to make you tune in to hear how that all goes and the poem and the rhyme that come after that. So check that out on Monday. With that, we are to our favorite thing from the internet. And I know someone is dying to give hers. So we're going to let Amy go first.
Well, I'm going to talk about my favorite thing but I have to give somebody credit for the reference that I'm going to use to discuss it. Okay. So I want to talk about what is now, I think, considered the Fire Festival of football. And that is, right?
I do.
Okay. The Sycamore Bishop from Columbus, Ohio, getting on ESPN. And they literally, high school team, which this school basically doesn't exist. Although if you go and research about it, it will say the founder said there's an academic component, but it's not licensed by Ohio Department of Education. It's not even listed as a charter school. And the reason why it's not listed as a charter school is because they said that they have strong religious beliefs, that they didn't want to be in a charter school area. They cannot find a mailing address for this place. And they got themselves on ESPN to play IMG. And they lost 0 to 56, 58?
57-0.
And I just think it's this whole thing is hysterical. So I'm going to give credit to Jesse Ramirez. And if you want to follow him on Instagram, I'm just kidding. Jesse Ramirez, who I coach with, who was it is the Fire Festival. They literally lied until they got caught. And I can't stop laughing about it. And my dad just ordered my son a sweatshirt with that on there for him to wear.
So even better is the men playing for this team were not of high school age.
Right, 23.
Right. And I was listening to Pat McAfee talk about this, and he's like, it's a problem when your quarterback looks 40. How did nobody question?
They couldn't even beat the high school team, though.
They couldn't even score.
Right. And at one point, the announcer's like, this is just not safe. And then they were like, oh, number 54 is down. We don't have a number 54 on the roster here. It's just mind-boggling. So that was my favorite thing on the internet.
Charlie, what you got?
We've had a couple wrestling references on here, so I'm going to talk about. There's a show on Stars called Heels that is actually very good It's a good watch. I'm not really sure how they got away with making it because there's some interesting things that happen in the show. But yeah, it's a good watch. Heels. It's about wrestling. It's about like an indie circuit wrestling group. James Harrison's in it, who's 45 and looks like he's 23.
He's a freaking beast.
He is a monster of a human.
I have considered getting stars just for that show. James Harrison was on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
And his arm took up half the screen.
Yes. He is a massive, massive human at 45 years old.
Yeah.
Still hope for me.
So my favorite thing on the internet, since you brought up all this stuff that reminds me of Pat McAfee, is Pat McAfee interviewed Jay Cutler. And a lot of people in Chicago do not like Jay Cutler. I love Jay Cutler. He is the one quarterback in the last 40 years who has given us a shot at least winning some games. And
Probably
what I love about him, what's that?
Probably the greatest quarterback in Bears history.
Probably. No lie. Outside the 1930s.
Yes.
He talks about, if you don't know, Jay Cutler had a lot of memes done about him, about his sour face, about all this stuff. He was walking the sidelines in Chicago with a camera following him everywhere. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, don't you know, like Fox has me just on you the whole time to catch the looks. And he's like, you've got to be kidding me. He said, so from that point forward, he just embraced it. Like, just throw it down. But he's very open and honest. They asked him about, him being known as a gunslinger and how he came up through Vanderbilt. And he's like, listen, we were undermanned in every game. If I don't try to throw balls that I shouldn't throw, we're going to lose by 1 million. And then when I got to Denver, I actually could rein it in a little bit because we had a lot of talent around us. And then when I got to Chicago, that talent wasn't there anymore until much later in my career. And I had to go back to like, either I try it or we're going to lose. So it just was really cool and refreshing. And I don't think he gets the due that he's due. And so I thought that was awesome. So, and it's a little personal. Chicago.
Does he talk about Kristen Cavallari?
He talks about being Cavallari, the show.
Yes.
And that it was the easiest money he ever made in his life.
Yeah, because he didn't do shit.
Did his 20 minutes, said, I'm done, I'm out, collected his check and walked away.
Okay.
But he actually is starting a new podcast called Uncut. And I'm actually interested to see what it is because he is super intelligent. If you don't know, he had like a full academic scholarship to Vanderbilt plus a football scholarship. Super smart guy, engineer. Yeah. That's
good to hear because everything you see on TV is completely an accurate picture of somebody's life. But that was not the impression that I got from watching him on it.
Yeah, I think he was made out to be that way by her because that is her show. He was just a co-star.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure I don't have an accurate picture of it.
And they have since divorced.
Yes.
So, yeah. Well, with that, anything else, guys?
No.
We will see you next time. Oh, thank you, RX Smart Gear.
Thank you.
Clydesdale 15, rxsmartgear.com, 15% off your order. Subscribe, like, comment, all those things. It really does help us. We don't just say this. The more you like it, the more you comment, the more you subscribe, the more we move into algorithms for other people to see us. So please do that for us. We would so appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time on the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends.
Bye.
See ya.